Welcome to Wayne's Old Time Radio Page channel. I'm Wayne, your host. These programs are brought to you by support of our listeners. You can give your support at Patreon or PayPal, either one. There's clickable links in the description below. Thanks for your support and enjoy the shows. If you'd like for me to get you a shout out, there's a link to PayPal in the description below. Leave us a donation. We'll get it up here for you. Just tell us who you want it to. You, a friend, a girlfriend, a wife, spouse, whatever. And we'll get it up here.
Listen while the makers of Rexall drug products and 10,000 independent Rexall family druggists bring you Dick Powell as Richard Diamond, private detective.
Good evening. This is your Rexall family druggist speaking to you for the 10,000 independent druggists who have made the word Rexall part of our own store names and who recommend and sell the 2,000 or more drug products made by the Rexall Drug Company. Like MI31, for example, Rexall's popular mouthwash, gargle, and breath deodorant. Full-strength MI31 kills contacted germs in seconds. Its zippy, tangy quality leaves a happy aftertaste. For a reliable yet refreshing mouthwash, use Rexall MI31. And remember, you can depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall.
Good health to all from Rexall. Now, your Rexall family druggist brings you a transcribed half hour with Richard Diamond, private detective, starring Dick Powell. Dick's special guest star tonight is what was your name again?
I'm sorry, but I really can't tell you.
You can't tell me. Well, Rexall brings you Richard Diamond, starring Dick Powell.
Wow. Morning, Mr. Diamond.
Morning, Charlie. Oh, fix me something, will you?
Like that, huh? You look pretty good.
Oh, you should have seen me when I got up. Both my heads were hissing each other.
I'll fix you my special. You snap right out of it.
Well, take it easy. I tried snapping out of it this morning and scattered myself all over the room.
You relax for a minute. Just getting to work?
Yeah. Helen gave a party last night. I think it turned out to be the finals of the roller derby. Ever swallow a roller skate, Charlie?
Once on a dare, a mouse.
Oh.
Sorry.
Charlie!
Gotta mix it.
Oh, that's a horrible machine to have in a bar. Some poor guy's liable to end up with shell shock.
Here. Hold your breath so you don't change your mind.
What's in it?
In your condition, that is a very touchy question. You just drink it, you'll feel better.
Okay.
No fudging all the way.
Charlie!
All the way? What are you, chicken?
Oh, I knew it. You snitched this stuff from a fire extinguisher.
Tastes terrible, don't it?
What are you going to thaw me out with, a chisel?
Now, I know it ain't that bad.
No? A mortician would pay good money for the formula.
Well, look what came in the front door.
Hmm? Oh, yes, sir.
Pardon me, but I'm looking for someone.
There's nobody here but me and Mr. Diamond.
Here's a picture of him. Has he been in here?
Oh, lady, a lot of people come in here.
No, I mean this morning.
Mr. Diamond's my first customer.
Oh,
Something wrong, miss?
I've just got to find him. I don't know where to look.
What made you think he'd be in here?
I'm trying every place that's open. I lost him in this block someplace.
Lost him?
Well, he just disappeared.
Who is he?
My husband.
Oh.
I stopped to look at some hats in a window. I started talking about how pretty they were, and the next thing I turned around and he was gone.
You called home?
We're living at a hotel. He hasn't shown up there. I've called everyone I know in New York.
You're from out of town?
Yes. Oh, I'm so worried.
Well, honey, from this picture, your husband looks old enough to find his way around. Why don't you go on back to the hotel and...
You don't understand. My husband had quite a shock earlier this morning, and he was acting strangely.
So you figure he might have gone looking for a drink?
I don't know what I thought. It isn't like him to wander off like that. I'm so worried.
Well, if you're that upset, why don't you go to the law? Missing persons.
I thought about that, but I can't.
You can't go to the police?
I can't explain why. It just wouldn't be good.
Would you mind a completely remark?
What?
Haven't I seen you before, Miss...
No.
Nice name.
Mr. Diamond sees a lot of people. Used to be a cop himself.
Oh.
Private detective now.
Private detective?
Seems to me I've seen your husband someplace before, too. Is this an old picture?
Yes, I carry it around in my wallet. Are you really a private detective, Mr.
Diamond, Miss...
Like Sam Spade?
Well, no. Sam drinks and runs around with women. I lead a rather sheltered life. Steady, Charlie.
Mr. Diamond, I'm really frightened. I'm sure something awful's happened to my husband. Will you help me?
I might, if you tell me two things.
What are they?
Why you can't go to the police, and if you can afford $100 a day in expenses.
Oh, I can afford the money.
You should have answered the first question first. Now I'm almost tempted to forget the last one.
But I can't go to the police.
Dear, when people can't go to the police, it worries me. Your old man got a record or something?
A record?
Well, I've seen both of you someplace. You sure you aren't working some kind of a racket?
Oh, now, lady, take it easy.
I lose my husband. I come in here for help, and you think I'm some sort of a criminal or something.
Look, dear,
I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. I don't want to go to the police, and it has nothing to do with breaking the law.
Shame on you, Diamond. Here, lady, here's a handkerchief.
Thank you.
Look, I'm sorry.
No, you're not. You're terrible.
Oh, please. Look, I'm in pretty bad shape myself. Okay, I'll help you.
Wonderful, Mr. Diamond. Where can we talk?
Hey, she turns him off like a hydrant.
You'll help me?
Oh, yes. $100 a day in expenses.
Certainly.
Get her.
Yeah. You sure you didn't dip into one of Charlie's specials?
I don't drink.
This isn't drinking. It's like diving into an active volcano.
Where can we talk?
One of the booths.
Good. I don't want anyone else to know about this.
You mean after this build-up, I ain't even gonna hear what it's all about?
Come on, dear.
Oh.
Relax, Charlie. Have one of your specials. Who knows? You may be the first one to reach the moon.
Is this booth all right, Mr. Diamond?
Just fine. Now sit down, dear, and tell me all about it.
Well, there's really not much to tell. I took my husband to an appointment this morning.
What kind of an appointment?
I can't tell you.
And you can't tell me your husband's name?
No.
Not even his first name?
Well, I guess I could tell you his first name. It's Richard.
Richard.
Yes.
You can't tell me any more?
No.
You want me to find him, and you want me to trust you?
If you will.
Will you trust me?
Yes.
Then I'll try and find Richard, but I'll need some help.
I'll try.
No, please. I'll need some outside help.
Who?
A policeman.
Oh, no, I told you.
And I told you. You want me to trust you? Okay, that's what I'm going to do, but you got to trust me, too.
But the police...
If you and your husband aren't in trouble with the police, you got nothing to worry about.
But the police...
Not the police, a policeman. One man.
But he'll find out why Richard disappeared.
Well, don't you want to know why?
I know why, but I don't want anyone else to know why.
You don't want anyone else? You know why, but you... Oh, don't let me do this to myself.
I just want to find him.
Okay. I promise the policeman won't say anything. I'm trusting that you have a good reason for not telling me any more than you have, but to find a man, this man in the picture, and an old photograph at that, to find this man needs a lot of doing. Checking hospitals.
Hospitals?
Now, don't start crying.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go on.
When you've got to check hospitals, morgues...
Morgue?
Look, dear, you wait here.
Oh, no, I'm going with you.
Good girl.
Charlie, thank you for being so patient.
A pleasure, miss.
Shall we go, Mr. Diamond?
Yeah. And, Charlie...
Yeah?
I'd like to thank you, too.
Anytime.
Your hospitality and good manners are only equaled by your loyalty and perspicacity.
Huh?
All in all, you've been a living doll. Being a person who lives out in left field most of the time myself, I realized that these little disturbances in my life were pretty average. So with cute little Anonymous tagging along behind, I left Charlie's fancy bistro and headed for the 5th Precinct Police Station and the good Lieutenant Levinson. When we walked into the squad room, we bumped right into the one thing that science had been working 24 hours a day to find a cure for. Well, good afternoon, Sergeant Otis.
Oh, how are you, Diamond? Hey.
Oh, unpucker, Otis. Mrs. X will think the lieutenant uses you to unstop sinks.
Mrs. X? What kind of a name is that?
You want to meet the lady? That's the name.
Mrs. X?
How do you do, Sergeant?
Oh, hey, ain't I seen you someplace before?
Otis, haven't I seen you someplace before?
Now, what are you talking about, Chama? Sure you've seen me before.
Mr. Diamond?
Yeah, but this is nothing. Stick around him for a whole day sometime. Come on, let's see the lieutenant.
I'll see you later, Mrs.
Yes, Sergeant. It's been a pleasure.
Otis,
Yeah?
your eyes are hanging out so far they cover your badge.
Oh.
Hello, Walt.
Hi, Rick.
Yeah. This is Mrs. X, Walt. Dear, this is the mighty arm of the law, Lieutenant Levinson.
How do you do, Lieutenant?
How do you do, Mrs. Axe?
Oh, let's not go into this thing again. The young lady prefers to be known as Mrs. X. Now, Walt, I want you to do me a favor.
Yeah, young lady, haven't I seen you
Someplace before. Yeah, Walt. Even Otis is with us on that one. I said the same thing when she found me in Charlie's bar. Now, the young lady's lost her husband, and I'm going to help her find him. Here's his picture. See if you got anything.
Oh, yeah. Are you sure I haven't seen you?
Walt, we'll solve that one later. The picture. Go make like a policeman.
Okay. She got a record?
Lieutenant.
Oh, well, I never forget her face.
He's been trying to ever since he got Otis. Now, come on, Walt. Get a report for missing persons. Check the hospitals and the morgue.
The morgue.
Lady, please.
It's a habit. Honey, we got to do these things just in case.
But you think he's...
Give me that picture. Lady, please. Now. What's your husband's name?
She can't tell you that, Walt.
What do you mean she can't tell me that?
I can't.
Now, you look, Diamond, if this is one
His
of your...
first name is Richard.
Richard what?
That's something I really can't tell you. I wouldn't have told Mr. Diamond the Richard part, but it just sort of slipped out.
Now, wait, what are you two trying to do to me? You come in here and ask me to locate this guy in the picture, and you won't even tell me his last name?
Look, Walt, I promised you'd do me the favor without the questions. The young lady seems to have a very good reason for not wanting to give her name or her husband's. Now, all I want you to do is check the morgues.
What's the matter with her?
She wants her husband.
Yes, I want my husband.
Before we continue with the adventures of Richard Diamond, private detective, here's your Rexall family druggist.
It's always a pleasure when a customer herself tells you why she likes your product. And last week, one said to me,
You know why I really prefer Rexall milk of magnesia? It's because one bottle won't be so thick I can't even pour it, and then the next one thin and watery. Somehow Rexall milk of magnesia always seems to be just right.
Well, ma'am, that's because every bottle of Rexall milk of magnesia has to meet an exacting standard of viscosity, or it can't wear the Rexall label.
What do you mean by viscosity?
It's the degree of thickness or pourability in a liquid. Rexall conducts scientifically precise tests on every batch of Rexall milk of magnesia to be sure it meets this constant standard of viscosity. And that's not done just to please you with its consistency. What's much more important, it means you'll always get uniform dosage from every bottle of Rexall milk of magnesia.
And I thought it was all an accident.
Oh, no, ma'am. There are no accidents behind the fact. You can depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall.
And now back to tonight's adventure with Richard Diamond, private detective, starring Dick Powell.
Well, I checked, and no one that looks like this guy is in any of the usual places.
Well, that's fine. Now let's start looking for him where I lost him, Mr. Diamond.
Oh, swell. Well, Walt, we really just stopped by to say hello. Killing time, you know.
Sure.
I appreciate everything you've done, Captain.
Lieutenant.
Of course. Thank you very much. But now Mr. Diamond and I have to go and find my husband.
Richard.
Yes.
I think you'd better wait a few minutes.
What for?
Yes, we've got to hurry. I've got to find my husband before the 8 o'clock plane leaves this evening.
You're leaving tonight?
You didn't tell me that.
Well, Richard has to be in California by tomorrow morning.
Got a little job to do?
A very big job, Captain.
Lieutenant.
Well, what do you want us to wait for?
Because I've got Otis checking on this girl, this Mrs. X.
Oh, no.
Walt, you promised.
I promised nothing. You assumed.
Oh, you're a fine buddy.
Buddy schmuddy. You might be taken in by her sweet innocence, but not me.
You double-crosser.
Mr. Diamond, you promised.
But I didn't, lady. I just checked the morgues. Oh, now you shut up.
Walt.
Well, I never.
I've seen this girl someplace, Rick, and I've got a sneaking suspicion she's wanted.
Wanted?
You can't cross me like this, Fatty.
Wanted?
Won't tell me her name, huh?
No.
Won't tell me your husband's name, huh?
No.
Then you're hiding something.
Yes.
Yes?
Y-E-S, meaning of course.
Now you stop that, Rick.
Rick. Is your name Richard, too, Mr. Diamond?
No, my friends call me Rick.
You ever in Chicago, lady?
Of course.
Of course.
O-F-C-O-U-R-S-E.
You stay out of this. You run around with Tony Capone when you were in Chicago?
You talking to me?
I'm talking to her.
Well, I'm glad. Tony never gave me back my elk's tooth.
Well, I don't know why you're talking to me, Captain. I never gave Mr. Capone an elk's tooth.
No.
It's Lieutenant, dear. You got to stop promoting him. You'll get a swell head.
Oh, you rat.
You call me, Lieutenant?
No.
Well, gee, don't scare me like that. I got something on this picture you gave me.
Her husband?
Yeah. Hello, Mrs. X.
Hello, Corporal.
Otis.
Yeah. You won't like it, Lieutenant.
I won't like what?
What I got on this picture.
Something's happened to Richard.
Now, take it easy.
Well, what did you find out? I'll tell you whether I like it or not.
Well, I sent it down to the boys in the morgue.
No! Now look what you've done, you mallet head.
Well, gee, what did I say?
You said morgue. No.
Now, honey, listen. This morgue is where they keep photographs.
Oh.
Well, what did they come up with, Sergeant?
She sure looks pretty when she cries like that.
Otis.
Well, I shall quote from the report. Person in said photograph resembles one Richard Diamond, private detective.
What did you say?
Come to think of it, you do, Mr. Diamond.
I shall continue. Member of the New York police force for 7 years. Height 6'1", 190.
80.
The general conformation of the head. Note, right ear...
Otis, shut up.
Oh, it gets real interesting. You didn't tell me about getting mixed up with that fan dancer back in 39, Diamond.
I was simply interested in starting an ostrich farm.
Otis,
Yeah?
do you think that picture looks like Mr. Diamond?
Kinda.
Thank you, Patrolman Lovelow.
Patrolman?
Yes, and if I ever catch you wearing a sergeant's stripes again, I'll put you on a beach so far out that I'll have to fly food into you. Now get out of here.
Sergeant Levinson.
Lady, please, it's Lieutenant.
Well, I don't care what it is. I think you were just horrible to that nice little policeman.
Is that right?
It certainly is. And I'm going to write a letter to the governor about you.
Now, wait a minute.
And what's more, I'm going to tell him what a horrible, mean, impolite person you are.
But-
I come in here with Mr. Diamond, and simply because I won't tell you my name, you accuse me of being a mop.
Mop.
Yes, mop. One of those gangsters' girls.
Moll.
Yes. And just because everyone thinks they've seen me before, I'm accused of all sorts of things.
But, lady, I...
No telling what's happened to my poor, wonderful husband.
Lady, please, lady.
You big bully.
Yes.
Well, okay, I'm sorry. I apologize.
Can Sergeant Loveloon have his stripes back?
Yes.
No, thank you very much. Come on, Mr. Diamond. We've got to find Richard. Goodbye, Major.
Well, I was ended up to my neck. Any other time, a client like Mrs. X would have scared me right into 4 months of hibernation. But she was such a cute little screwball that I just had to go along with it. We took the picture that looked something like yours truly and started making the rounds. Starting with the last place Mrs. X had seen her husband, we showed the picture to every shop owner within a 4-block circle, but no one had seen him. Mrs. X kept checking with the hotel, making me stay at a good distance so I couldn't hear the conversation. But no one had seen her husband. We ended up right back where I first ran into her. Charlie's.
Wow. Find him?
No.
Look, dear, why don't you check again with this place that you and your husband went to this morning for his business appointment? Maybe you went back there.
Well, I guess I could try it again.
Phone in the back on the wall.
Thanks, I'll call him.
No luck, Diamond?
No. How do I get into these things, Charlie?
When someone wants to give you $100 a day in expenses, you get into them. Phone.
Brilliant deduction.
Hello?
A little lady will get it.
Mr. Diamond,
Yeah?
it's for you. Captain Levinson.
You been promoted?
Several times in the last hour.
You think he's heard something about Richard?
Might be. Yeah, what is it, Fatty?
I thought you might be there.
What made you think of Charlie's?
Well, it's pretty obvious you had a hangover.
Well, maybe I stuck a bicycle pump in my nose and pumped up my head just to get a laugh out of Otis. You'll have to do better than that.
You told me you met the girl at Charlie's.
Shrewd.
Is it something important?
Honey, just relax. I'm getting to it.
But if it's about Richard...
The girl there?
Yeah. What's on your mind?
Well, I don't know if it means anything, but we just got a report from the Johnson Sanatorium.
Johnson Sanatorium. Never heard of it.
Over on 84th Street.
The missing husband?
I don't know. The report fitted his description, but who knows from that old photograph.
Well, it's worth checking. What's the address?
644 East 84th Street. Seems they found this guy wandering around the streets.
Johnson Sanatorium, 644 East 84th Street, huh? Did he give his name?
Amnesia, loss of memory. Seemed to be suffering from shock. Thought I'd let you get there first. Felt kind of sorry for the girl when I realized the story might be kosher.
Okay, Walt, I'll check it, thanks.
Meet you there.
Well, honey, that might be... Hey. Charlie.
Yeah?
Mrs. X, where'd she go?
Took out of here like she was shot out of a gun. Something wrong?
When are you going to stop asking stupid questions? Well, that tore it. Mrs. X was probably on her way over to the Johnson Sanatorium and with a good head start. So I went out and grabbed a cab for 84th Street and kicked myself a dozen times for getting mixed up in a situation like that. Why not forget the whole thing and get some rest until my head returned to a normal circumference? Answer. Because I'd wasted a whole afternoon looking for the missing husband and hadn't even got a retainer.
Yes, sir. Is something I can do for you, perhaps?
I'm looking for the man you reported as...
Hello, Rick.
Oh, Walt. Have you seen Mrs. X?
I just this minute got her. She's been and gone.
What about the guy you got the report on?
Took him with her.
The young lady came in, took a look at the man, claimed it was her husband, paid his bill, and left.
You let him go like that? I thought the man had amnesia.
Well, yes, he was suffering from some kind of shock and had temporarily lost his memory.
But you just let him walk out of here with...
Rick, let him finish his story.
The minute the man saw the young lady, he snapped right out of it. She said they had to hurry to catch a plane or something, had a lot of packing to do.
Did she give her name?
Yes, he signed the release.
Here, let me see it.
And now, take it easy, Rick. It's signed Mrs. Richard Diamond.
She used my name?
Is that your name?
You're darn right it is. She leave any address?
Phony, I checked.
Oh, swell.
I'll cover the airports if it'll make you happy.
Oh, it'll make me very happy. She did nothing for my hangover. She didn't pay me 1 red cent for my trouble, and I think I may be getting hives. Oh, I'm going over to Helen's and have a complete nervous breakdown.
How do you feel now?
Oh, I'm all right, Helen, dear, but my ulcers just had a parade.
Any word from Walt?
No.
Miss Helen,
Yes, what is it, Francis?
a young lady at the door for Mr. Diamond.
I'll get it.
I'll bet you will.
Wow.
Hello, Mr. Diamond.
Now, look, I've got something to say
I
to
can't
you.
stop to talk. My husband's waiting in the car, and we have to catch a plane.
Now, you look,
I want to thank you very much for all you've done, and I want to apologize for running out on you.
But your husband...
He's fine, thank you. He just lost his memory for a while.
Now, I'm not
I
gonna...
haven't got time to tell you anymore. We've got to catch a plane.
But you...
Oh, I said that. Here's an envelope.
But I...
It explains everything, and there's something in it for you.
But you can't...
And here's something else because you've been so wonderful.
But...
I hope if you ever get to California, you'll look us up. Goodbye, and thank you again for everything. You're wonderful. Bye.
Well,
Hmm?
all right, Blue Eyes. What was that all about?
Oh, no, that was her. She. The girl.
The girl.
Mrs. X.
What's that?
Hmm? Oh, it's an envelope. Said it would explain everything.
I hope it does, especially that fond farewell.
Oh, that. She was just being grateful.
Yeah. Go on, open the envelope.
Pardon, Miss Helen. Now it's the phone. Lieutenant Levinson for Mr. Diamond.
I better tell him about the girl.
You'd better read what's in that envelope.
Hello, Walt.
Reg, that dame phoned Otis. Asked where she could find you.
Oh, that's how she found the place.
Yeah, the melonhead told her you might be over at Helen's. Gave her... She's been there?
Just left. And she left an envelope that she said would explain everything.
Well, what did it say?
I haven't read it.
Well, read it. I want to know what this is all about.
So does Helen.
Well,
Well,
$500.
the explanation.
what about the letter?
Well, it says, Dear Mr. Diamond, I know that I've caused you a great deal of trouble, so I wish to take this opportunity
To thank you for your patience and understanding. As for an explanation, well, here it is. But I count on your discretion and hope that you will keep my secret. This morning, my husband and I went to a doctor because I hadn't been feeling well. We discovered and were overjoyed to find out that I was going to have a baby. Immediately, I informed my husband that I had decided to give up working until after I had the baby. The realization that I wasn't going to make any more money for the rest of the year was too much for him. The shock made him lose his mind, and he just wandered off. Although he has recovered his memory, the thought of having to support us both for the rest of the year has left him nervous and despondent. So I'm taking him back to the coast to the family psychiatrist.
I wish to thank you from the bottom of my heart for all your kindness and help. Signed,
Sign who?
Rick!
Helen, what's wrong?
He's fainted.
What?
He looked at the signature on the letter and just flopped over.
Well, what about the signature?
It's signed June Allison.
Again, here's your Rexall family druggist.
Whenever you have a headache, remember this about Rexall aspirin. When taken with water, the 5 full grains of pure aspirin in every Rexall tablet are ready to go to work for you even before they reach your stomach. Yes, whenever you have a headache, remember that about Rexall aspirin. Ask for it at Rexall drugstores everywhere. And remember always, you can depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall.
Good health to all from Rexall. Richard Diamond, Private Detective, stars Dick Powell in the title role and is written by Blake Edwards with music composed and conducted by Frank Worth. June Allison appeared through the courtesy of Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer and will soon be seen co-starring with Dick Powell in the MGM motion picture Right Cross. Featured in tonight's cast were Virginia Gregg, Ted DeCorsia, Wilms Herbert, and Bob Sweeney. Richard Diamond, Private Detective, was transcribed in Hollywood by Jaime Del Valle. This is Bill Foreman inviting you to be with us next Wednesday at this time when we will again bring you Dick Powell as Richard Diamond, Private Detective.
Hiya, beautiful.
Get lost, Bristlepuss. You need a shave.
But I have shaved. What else do you want me to do?
Silly boy, she wants you to go Stag.
Go Stag? But why?
Because Stag is Rexall's exclusive line of men's good grooming aids, like Stag Brushless Shave Cream. No fuss, no massage, just smooth it on, and presto, you get a clean, close shave. Your face stays smooth and whiskerless all day long.
I'll do it. I'll go Stag.
That's it. Join the Stag line now at Rexall drugstores everywhere.
Yes, to make girls care. Go Stag.
Bill
Bill Bendix leads The Life of Riley again Friday on NBC.